Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a good one, but in all honesty, I don't give a shit if you are or not. So yeah, there's that. If this is your first time to the channel, my name is Tyler Hacker. I play heavy metal guitar, I lift weights, I drink coffee. If you're into that kind of shit, go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get nice and tight guitars in Pro Tools. Now, most likely you didn't click on this video because you play jazz, because you play country, or because you play rock. There's only one reason you clicked on this video, and don't you dare lie to me. It's because you play metal. It's because you play f***ing metal. Alright. For this demonstration, I'm using Pro Tools, but if you don't have Pro Tools, if you have Cubase, Logic, Digital Performer, Reason, Reaper, any one of the other sequencers out there, that's fine. You can pretty much do this in any digital audio workstation. So don't feel bad if you don't have Pro Tools. I prefer Pro Tools because I'm fast in Pro Tools.
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
I've learned in Pro Tools. But you can do this in any DAW. Now, here in Pro Tools, I have prepared two sections of this song that I recently worked on. One section is edited, the one here on the left, and one section is not really edited. There might be light editing, but it's absolutely, you'll just look at the amount of edits I've put in this clip on the left here compared to the one on the right. And you'll hear the difference. You'll absolutely hear the difference. Let me go like this real quick. All right, here we go. First clip, unedited. Here we go. Let me mute the bass here. All right, second clip, edited. Notice how much tighter that sounds. That's because I edited the shit out of it. All right, so, by the way, in Pro Tools, I'm gonna be using the Smart tool up here. If you're using the hand tool, this tool, I don't even know what these tools are called because I never use them. You want to make sure you click on this little bar up here called the Smart tool. You also want to make sure you go to this little section right here where it says Tab to Transients. Make sure that's blue. Make sure it's turned on. You're going to want to do that. All right. Otherwise, this is going to it'll make it very hard if those aren't on. This is going to be very simple. Let me show you how I was able to edit the shit out of this very quickly and very easily. All right, so we have our first clip here, unedited for the most part. If we zoom in here, this first note right here, I recorded it, I know the song, I wrote the song. That note is supposed to be on the first beat of that measure. It looks like it's on the first 16th note of that measure, which means I came late, which normally I come early, but that's a whole nother ball or a whole nother story. And I've doubled the guitars, by the way, which is why I have two guitar tracks, a left and a right track. If you're recording metal, you want to double your guitars. That's a whole nother video, but yeah, I doubled the guitars. Click on the track that you're editing, hit Tab, and it's going to take you to the very beginning of that audio, that transient, that first transient. When you're there, this is very easy. Hit Control, left Control, and then E. It's going to cut that track. We have just cut this track. I can now take this left half and slide it anywhere I want. Well, not anywhere I want. I'm in grid mode, by the way, which grid mode locks your audio and your cursor to the grid. And notice how I can only move around in blocks versus slip mode, which I can go wherever I want. Free, baby. Hell yeah, free balling it. All right, so, and to switch between slip and grid is F2 and F4. F2 and F4, right up here. Whoa, I didn't even know you could be in both at the same time. All right. So we've cut this. Now we're going to slide this over. Now we're on beat one, which is exactly where we want to be. Now I can tell this bottom track here, the right guitar track, isn't right either. So I hit Tab. It didn't take me to the right note. Sometimes it's not perfect. A cool thing you can do is to hold left Control on your keyboard while you're in grid mode, and it turns it into slip mode as long as you're holding down left on Control. As soon as I let off, it goes back into grid mode. Check that out. Hit Control, I'm back in slip. So this is very convenient because if I hold, like say I want to click right here in the middle and I'm in grid mode. Look at grid mode, just moves me over here to this note right here. I cannot click in the middle. Hold down left on that control. I can now go to the middle of that track. Then hit tab to transient. Oh, it's still not working. So I'm just going to do this manually. Hold left control. The beginning of the note is about right there. Control E, cut, slide over. Oops. I accidentally moved it down here. Slide over. Okay. Those are now lined up. Let's listen back. The next note we're going to be talking or moving to is this one right here. I typically will move the beginning of the measure. Like, you don't have to go in and move 16th notes around unless you played it really shitty, like me, usually. You typically can move one measure at a time and it'll lock that measure in, unless you're just playing all over the place. If it's a hard riff, this was a hard riff for me to play, so it's kind of all over the place, which is why I picked it for this tutorial. So you click here. We're moving on to this second note here. This looks like it's supposed to be on the first note or the first bar measure of, or the next measure. So tab, control E, tab, control E, and then you slide this bitch over. Now you're going, well, Tyler, I have this gap between my audio now. You're gonna hear that when you play it back, and you're absolutely right. Let's listen back. You can hear that gap in between there. One more time. Yeah, you can absolutely hear that. Let's go in with the scrubber tool. Yeah, there's no audio there. Zero audio. Zilch. Audio? No audio. Audio? No audio. You get my point. There's a gap. So what you do is you click on the first note, the first track, the left guitar track. You click on the right guitar track, and then you grab these bitches like this with the smart tool and drag them over. And now you're going, there's still a gap in my audio, you bitch. Well, guess what? Same trick we were doing before. Hold that left control button down, slide this over. I'm no longer conformed to the grid, baby. Oh yeah, it's nice. Free balling it. Free bird. All right, so we move that over. Let's go ahead and put a crossfade there just to be safe. So I'm still holding down left control. Select this section right here. Control F. Hit OK or hit Enter on your keyboard. Now there's a crossfade there. Beautiful. Let's get rid of that. Now let's listen back. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, this next measure right here, this next part, I'm not classically trained in case you couldn't tell. You can tell this note right here and this note right here, they're off. This one is further to the left, this one's further to the right. Which means when you play this back, it's not going to sound nice and tight. It's going to sound kind of off, which sometimes you want that. You want it to sound kind of loose. You don't want it to sound too robotic. But for metal, you kind of want it to sound too robotic. So let's listen back to that again, one more time. Almost inaudible, but let's go in and work some magic on this and make it sound even tighter. So let me hit tab. Okay, tab to transient's not working. Sometimes when you're coming off of this huge transient right here, and then you go into a little small note like this, it doesn't work right. So you have to go in manually. So left control, click right there. It starts about right there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Click, slide it over. I'm pretty sure it needs to be lined up right here. That's where the drum is at, right there. This is my drum track down here. This one's not perfect either. Tab to transient not working. Hold down control, click where you want to cut, control E, slide that over, control holding, or still holding down left control, slide that over. We could do this one too. If you want them to be cut on the same spot, grab them both. Crossfade, control F, enter. These two notes look like they're pretty damn close. Obviously these are not lined up perfectly, so what I'm going to do, tab to transient, slide this bitch over, tab to transient, slide this bitch over. Now when we slid that over, we also moved the entire rest of the track here. So it might not be lined up perfectly. So let's look at these notes right here, these two. They look close to this note right here, and they look close to this note right here. I don't know which one it's supposed to be. Maybe it's even this one, I don't know. Let's go down here and look where our drum is at. Our drum note is right here on this measure, the third beat. So what I'm going to do, tab to transient, Control E. You guessed it, tab to transient. This one's not lining up perfectly, so hold down that left control. Control E, slide this bitch over, grab both, left control, slide, crossfade. Let's listen back. Beautiful. Let's listen to how it was before. Control Z all this shit. So there is a very subtle difference. Those notes come in too soon. So let's go back to the edited version. They hit on the exact same time as that drum note hits now, which is good. We want it to be nice and tight. You want this to be a rookie sounding record. All right, so the first thing I'll do now is go to the very next note. So the very next note looks like it's like right here, right here, and then right here. So these don't look perfectly lined up. I don't know exactly where they're supposed to go, but I'm guessing they need to land on this drum note right here, which would be this right here. Let's tab to transient. Or, you guessed it, let's tab to transient. Control E. Tab to transient, Control E. Slide that, slide that. It lands right on the money. I love this shit. I don't know. There's something satisfying about lining up the guitars to the drums on the grid when everything's recorded nice. It just satisfies the shit out of me. So you get the point. Tab to transient, Control E, move shit around. That's pretty much the basic idea of this whole video. So now if we go over here to the track that I've edited already and take a closer look, you can see how many edits I've done. All the crossfades, all the fades. I've slid shit around. And if you listen back to the final product, you can tell it's nice and tight. You get the idea. But yeah, this is a good trick to use when you are trying to edit guitars quickly. Maybe you're doing something for a client. Maybe you're doing something for yourself and you're tired of working on it. You want to edit it quickly. Tab to transient, Control E, shift around, crossfade. Tab to transient, Control E, shift it around, crossfade.
Tab to transient, Control E, shift around. Tab to transient, Control E, shift it around, crossfade.
Over and over and over and over again until you go insane and you end up in a mental institution. So, if you have any questions, please, I encourage you to leave them down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to hit the like button. If you did not like this video, go ahead and hit the dislike button. You have my permission. And if you enjoy this kind of content, I would be very appreciative if you hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
Holy